everybody. So baby and I are taking a nice drive.
Yeah.
And just
photos.
kicking it, huh?
Not taking photos.
Not taking photos. We're supposed to be doing my homework for my architectural history class. Yeah, that would be good, right?
Yeah.
But we can't. So we're out here supposed to be doing my homework, taking photos for a field guide I have to put together. Oh, look at that one. That's what. Where's your thing?
Hold on.
This is ridiculous. The light has changed.
It's fine.
Can you get
fine.
it? You got it? I gotta go.
Okay.
Somebody's behind me. Thank you.
Wait,
So we're supposed to be out here on a mission, but the mission is not working.
It's failing.
So we're really just chilling, vibing. But anyway, so we passed this place that is a mission. So that's what we're kind of talking about now, where you all are coming in. First of all, sorry, my scarf is way messed up.
Oh, this looks
But
fine.
Huh?
That's fine.
Ooh, child, don't look at this. I don't know why this thing is always coming out. So yeah, we're just talking about our thoughts on missions, and missions being organizations that go out and they do missionary work. So they go to different places and help the poor, the needy, all that kind of thing.
As you should.
And so we live in central Pennsylvania, and this I would say probably Pennsylvania, generally speaking, but definitely up here where we are, it has a very rich history of mission work.
Oh, really?
And so
I don't think about that too much.
the only reason I know that is because in my line of work, I am around elders, of course, and so many of them, they live their lives doing stuff. Like many of them, when they were younger, they were going over to Africa, different parts of Africa, doing mission work and stuff like that.
It's not right.
Huh?
It just sounds like the white savior complex and
And this is one of the ways they got the white savior complex, I guess, because they were actually going out there
and it's where
bringing the savior, right? And so that's what we're talking about. And even now, with them being in like their late 80s, their 90s, and they can't do things like out there in the world, a lot of them still do things like they crochet baby blankets, or I told you about some of them that take they recycle they recycle plastic shopping bags, and they crochet mats for the homeless, plastic mats for the homeless land, which I was like, that's dope. But they do all kind of things still. And so that's how come I know about the history. I was just like, there's a lot of people doing this. And just hearing their stories. So we just passed the place, and I was like, oh, that sounds cool. Like, look it up. And what did you find?
Oh, I looked that up, and it's more or less just them bringing the word of Christ to isolated people groups.
Like those were their that was their phrasing, right? Isolated people groups.
The first photo
and isolated from whom exactly?
Yeah, like just because they're not like Christian, or like they're not like like a certain sect of Christian, that doesn't mean that they don't have their own religion or some variation of what Christianity is. That's not
or just faith. Like, I mean, we've seen that even from when Europeans first came here to this land. It was like, oh, these savages, we got to teach them about Jesus the Christ,
That's just like so gross. And like, that's just grimy. It's weird. Like the best word to describe is just grimy. Like,
because we want to, our thinking is this, I know like Christians who might listen to this may not understand, it's like, well, yeah, we want everybody to know about Jesus so they can go to heaven. But understand, everybody doesn't have that faith or that belief. And so our thinking is, why not just help people without coming to them as if something's wrong with you. You need to be fixed. I'm gonna give you this food, but here go this too. Like if this was a big thing with Muslims going out and doing that sort of thing. Like Muslims do, missionary work too. We give food and all that kind of stuff too, but it's not with like. Now here go this Quran and you need to learn this if you're going to keep getting some help or whatever. Oh, look. We're going to so miss it.
Oh, no.
So I can't even tell. Gosh darn it. I got to turn around and I don't know. But there's not even anywhere to park. Anyhow, focus.
We stopped talking.
So I know. This is a really good, look at this one over here. This is a really good spot to come to. And then it has the 6/6 windows. Well, not quite 6/6. I don't know what that would be called.
We're all over the place.
I know.
Most of the conversations that I have with these guests is just this.
We're multitaskers with everything. But look at this one. See how the door is off center. But I don't even know what style that would be. That looks like some modern something. But look at this joint right here. See, look, that would be like a jerk. See, I need to. Dang it! I gotta turn around. But there's no. How can I even park to take
There
pictures?
was one down there, like a Germanic one down there.
I think that one
There's
was
so many.
too because. Yeah. Look at this one. That's so dope.
Like
We
a
open.
house in Mifflinburg. That was like a kind of mixture of a few things.
The house in Mifflinburg.
It was kind of like that, but
It did have like the wide porch and
Yeah.
all that.
I mean that
I
one
don't know
like
what that would be.
like a mixture of what do you like French colonial and Pennsylvania German.
Don't give me the line. Okay, let's switch back.
You might have to cut some stuff out.
So that's too much work trying to edit all that. But so that's what we were like, saying that to us from like our cultural background. That just seems sort of weird but you see that often. Again, what I was saying before, it's been that way since the inception of this whole idea of America, that they came over here with natives like, nope, we gotta change this because y'all are savages. It was like that with Africans when they brought Africans over here. Same thing. Y'all are savages. I don't know what y'all doing. You need to be praying to Jesus. And even with like the Quakers, the what were they called? Not the Association of Friends. Was it the Association of Friends? Anyway, the Quakers, when they, back in the day, of course, they were the only ones who were even talking about this whole anti-slavery deal as it began. Because it started here in Pennsylvania in like 1684. And by 1688, that's when the first time, what is his name? I think it was Anthony Benezet. He wrote the first letter opposing slavery. And, they were like, you had your German Quakers, and you had like your other Quakers, French and all those people. English. But it was like the German ones that were like, nah, this is whack. We're Christian. This is not what Christianity is about, but they got a lot of pushback, and, it took a while for it to actually take form. But even with them, they were like, if you have slaves, then you need to not have slaves no more. They were like, the only way you should buy enslaved people is if it is fully your intent to free them by buying them. But then
I would do that.
Right.
I really need to have.
But then it was like, okay, if you have some, because this was a whole economic thing. So they're like, y'all don't put my money into this. We're just talking about right now. So they were like, all right, if you have if you have some people, enslaved people, then you have X amount of time. You can get this much amount of work out of them, but then you got to let them go. But while they're in your care, you have to teach them how to be a good Christian. It's like nobody was like, I mean, they believe in their own God. Like, leave them alone. It was none of that, especially in the beginning, because it was this whole like Protestant idea. And even though, even though it was like with Pennsylvania, even though William Penn had this whole holy experiment idea, where it's like everybody should be able to have their own, religious faith and blah blah blah, but it was religious faith under the Christian umbrella. It ain't had none of that Muslim junk or none of that, Ifa or any of that kind of stuff. It was like, right, it's like, so it wasn't a for real like freedom of religion. It was freedom of denomination. So there you go.
I don't like it. I don't like any of it. If you're forcing someone like anything, even if you're forcing them to be Muslim, like you can't force someone to be Muslim. It's like like an oxymoron.
Well, I mean, we have the understanding in Islam too, through the Quran, is that you don't make Muslims. Only Allah makes Muslims. Like, you can force somebody into, become Muslim, or it's gonna happen to you, but it don't mean they're like for real Muslim in their heart or in their faith. They're just doing this to stay alive. Just like so many people converted to Christianity with the crusade, after the crusades that the Muslims actually lost and everything. Even then, it was like, all right, I'm become Christian, but just to not be killed. But they still had their Islamic faith, and then things got kind of merged together at some points. Even over here, because it's an estimated like 25% of captured Africans who were brought over here during the transatlantic slave period were Muslim, because of course they came from the West Coast
and stuff like that. That's weird.
But so what did they do? They didn't just simply, like we see that in Roots, the movie Roots. Akunta Kinte came over here and he was sneak. You haven't watched it?
No, I watched like clips and stuff like that, but I don't think I've watched like.
There you go. Let me know we're gonna be watching some. But like, he would hide. Initially, he would hide and make it salat and everything. And then even with that, there's so many Black American rituals and traditions that are actually steeped in Islam, because
really?
That's where they come through. Look at the fan lights. But that's a newer building, of course, like a replica, but still.
Oh, that one. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's not like
I don't even know. But so yeah.
No.
They have so many. One thing about Pennsylvania, they will build a complex. Bruh, listen, they will build a complex of houses and your little stores and everything, but they look really cute.
Oh, you mean stores? No.
How they have the little complex there, like they like everywhere. They just build them.
I thought that you were talking about like houses, like apartments and stuff.
Oh, no, those joints are like. And see, what happens is they build these complexes. Pennsylvania for so long had a reputation of having, not so expensive home. Look at that one. Ooh, I would love to buy like an old bank or something and convert it into a house. They used to have this show on HGTV called what's it called? It was just on the tip of my brain. It was like Strange Homes or something like that. And people would like convert these places into homes. It was like so cool. Some of them joints might be haunted, but what you gonna do? But
it's fine.
But it was there first. But
just tell them hi.
Huh?
Just say hi.
That's what I do, especially like, I don't know about y'all, but I don't see spirits or anything in the house anymore. When we first came there, huh?
No, not really.
When we first came there, those suckers were letting it be known. But I would say to them too, like, listen, I ain't trying to do nothing.
Yeah.
I know we live here together. But in saying that, like, even our home, look at that. Even our home is so super inexpensive compared to back home where we're from and everything. But these new complexes, these suckers they're building up here, those houses go for like $250,000-$300,000. It's ridiculous. But this is what's happening now.
That's cheap, right?
Up here. Nah, not when you talk about our house is less than 100.
Oh, I'm not.
But that's what homes, when you look at the older homes all throughout Pennsylvania, they're very inexpensive. They're much of the time less than $100,000. Like, no matter where you go in this region. Now, I don't know, I'm gonna say like in central and eastern side. I don't know about the west side, but I'm assuming the same. But yeah, you could buy 2 and 3 houses for the price that they're making these homes for. And then you don't have, you have to follow these codes and all that kind of stuff. Ain't gonna be no having a garden. Oh, look at these.
I don't like the idea of not having a garden.
I know. I don't like the idea of not having control over my own stuff. You telling me I gotta pay $300,000 plus pay HOA fees?
Personal property.
Yeah.
Right.
But you can't do this. You can't do that. You can't, put certain things outside your house because it's not. It's just crazy. Like, everything has to look the same.
I have a black flag. Never mind.
You said a black flag.
Uh-huh.
Oop. Pulling over.
It's funny. This is one of the things that I don't like about getting older.
What?
It's nice and it's all fun and stuff, but I'm trying to think about things and like I don't like it. So now I'm like this. I want this, and it's gross. Like I don't like it.
Ooh. May I see your? May I borrow your phone? One and two. Now, what if I mess around and every picture I take is like the same style?
Oh.
I have like 10 or 12 different styles I have to take pictures for. Ouch.
That hurt.
Oh, I should have took that one. Let me see. Wait, I can't.
Oh, what? What is that?
Look at this bank. That looks like
silos. That's not what a silo is. But the big metal things right there.
What big metal things?
they're very, very obvious. I mean, they're back there now, but it's like a factory or something.
Oh, there's a library down there. I should go and check. Want to go see where the library is? Never mind.
No, we're gonna forget about the books. Yeah.
So what else?
What do you mean? Like it's like stuff?
Yeah. Are we done making the video?
Oh well, there was one of the houses back there. You know how they have like the signs and stuff like in front of houses and things where it says like whatever. There was a thing. It said we support our police. We support our police.
Mm-hmm.
It's like but I mean, I don't know. Kind of.
I think it's difficult or
it's like but
challenging. I don't know what the word would be right now. But to support police officers as a black person in America.
Yeah, as a Muslim. I don't.
Right, it's like because
it
there's
depends on the area, really.
Yeah.
It's just like.
But I mean, even if you're in a black area, I mean, oftentimes the black cops are the ones that are pushing it first and hardest. But I think it's difficult sometimes because people want to support police officers, But the reality is,
I guess
you
it's
know,
like with the military, kind of.
mm-hmm.
Because it's like,
Yeah, it's like you want to support, because it's like,
if it's used properly, it's like how it, like, if they don't use like their power to their advantage, then it's like, yeah,
to the people's
obviously,
disadvantage.
Yeah, like, of course I'll support it, because like what they're supposed to do, like, is they protect the people, you know, that's your job. But if you're using like your weapons and stuff like that, or your power to, like, you know, attack people or just do that's not, then there's no point of you being here if you're not doing your job.
Yeah. And
So
why am
like,
I supposed to support you simply because this is your job? Like, folks seem to have this idea of, well, they're our police and they're heroes and all this. They don't give you the rights to be able to.
They train for like what, 8 weeks or something? Is it 8 weeks or 8 months?
Yeah, it's like no, it's not 8 months, honey.
That would be surprising. But it's like a short amount of time where it's like anyone can train to do that.
Like, it doesn't make you and, you know, exceptional type person just because you were able to get this job, especially again as a police officer. I know police officers, and I'm like, how y'all get this job? But like, you know, they drunks and all this kind of stuff, really. But I mean, I see the same thing in healthcare too.
Yeah,
people go out and
most jobs where it's like,
but that's the point. It's a job. It is the quality of the person, not because these people have a badge or something like that. And so why should anyone have to support people or institutions, organizations, simply because of what they look like topically? I think people in general, definitely, as you know, in America, I think people generally are just so fixated on what something looks like, you know. And then also, if something does not affect you, you're not going to see it in the same. Put my black mama lifesaver up.
Her arm. Or like,
I saved you. Did you go out the window? But
definitely wasn't this. Definitely wasn't this.
Oh. You're doubting my superpower.
Oh my god. Or people are like kind of stuck on like the fantasy, or like the romanticization of like police. How it's like, you know, it's like, you want to be like a cop when you get older. How it's kind of put like he's a police officer, doctor, astronaut, firefighter. Like all those things, it takes, you have to like, you know, put in work for it. Wow, with the police officer, it's just a few weeks. But like here, it's like a few weeks. But in the other places, it's like you have to train for years to become an officer. But it's just,
and I mean, I think just like I believe in healthcare, I think those sorts of things you need to have empathy first and foremost for people, because that's going to be a lot of what's going to make, you know, you not shoot first, or you not, you know, need somebody on their neck until they die slowly, or you know, all this kind of thing. You have to have empathy. But if there's this idea that, oh, I can do whatever I want to do because I'm a cop, screw you. It's just a freaking job. Like, I'm a nurse. Does that mean I get to just do whatever I want to do to somebody, kill somebody if I want to, or, you know, taking care of somebody with dementia? Oh, you know, they're having a horrible life right now. I'll just quicken it up. They dying anyway. I don't have that right. You know what I mean? I mean, there, here and there, you find nurses on these true crime shows that they did do that.
yeah.
But it's just this weird idea that we put on people. Americans, we were talking about this in class today, or mentioned it. Americans absolutely have this hero complex. And I feel like my professor, when she mentioned it, it was kind of like, but like, yeah, like a romanticized, like
we're not,
but don't we need heroes?
Yeah.
Because I posed the question, like, we're talking about heroes, of course. I posed the question, like, well, what makes someone a hero? Is it that person's intention, of what they're doing, or is it the perception of what the person is doing?
And then what side are you on too? Because
right, because I'm like, because what I said to her, we were talking about that movie, Children of Men, but what I use myself as an example, or my field as an example, like how people, at least at the peak of the pandemic, that changed when a lot of us weren't doing what folks wanted us to do so far as get vaccinated. But at the beginning and at the peak of the pandemic, it was like, oh, heroes, you see signs outside of nursing homes and hospitals, you know, saluting their heroes. And I'm like, and people that I talk to, that I work with, we were like, first of all, they're not treating us like heroes. That's just some outside thing. Like, yeah, we take care of our people. You don't.
Get better pay.
And just during the pandemic, it's like the thing. Now, of course, we didn't have a lot of things back then. There weren't like an abundance of masks and stuff like that. But the conditions that we had to work under during the pandemic, and, you know, especially when we were still learning this thing, but we were just like, they ain't treating us like heroes. But also, we don't see ourselves as heroes. It's like, I'm not a hero. This is the job that I signed up for. I gotta do it. First of all, if I don't come in, I'm gonna get fired, so I gotta come in. So, you know what I mean?
You can't eat then.
Yeah, it's like, so my question to her again was, what makes someone a hero? Is it so my thing is, if I accidentally save somebody's life, or if I intentionally went to save somebody's life, like, am I a hero for either or both of those situations? Or we should go to the place, the thrift store. Are we down here?
Oh, okay.
Let's keep it in perspective. Thrift store. But yeah, so.
Stuff is weird.
So yeah, I think we, again, as Americans, and I say we, mean them, I think Americans have this, for real, like, hero complex, and they want to put their faith into something, because again, humans seem to like always need to put their faith in something.
Well,
you know?
yeah, I think we always kind of
praise something.
We just kind of like a human thing to like seek like someone to like, I guess
outside
like,
of ourselves,
or because like, you have like so many like questions and stuff like that, and things are so confusing. So it's just like you need to have something to kind of like I'm doing it like this for them, or I'm following this thing. So if it's like a hero or something like that, which I don't know if that's like if it's always been like that, or like maybe like the passenger or something. But it's just kind of like someone like it's just like the fantasy of like, you know, having heroes and stuff like that, like a superhero or something. It's just like
it's definitely
so, like,
been
in
longer
the culture
than a century,
where,
but yeah.
So yeah, it's weird.
It's annoying.
I don't like it. And I'm growing up in this, and I'm seeing like, oh, this is weird. I don't know how I should feel about this. It's gross. But the sign where it's we support our cops, like it. I don't know if like I was seeing stuff like saying that, or like things like related to that, like before the protests. Like that seems to be a reaction to being like,
it seems to be a reaction to BLM.
Yeah, like you weren't talking about that. You weren't being like, we love and support our police, until people were like, we should, you know,
Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, like we should, like, you know, defund them and like put the money like to schools. It wasn't like up until people were finally like,
it became political, and that's what I was gonna say too. It like, became a political something.
It was only like a few years, which is just I don't know. It's just another because again, when this whole vaccine mandation thing started, even a lot of firefighters and police officers was like, yo, I'm not getting this, and they were coming for them too. So again, it's like, I think one of the aspects of like
making someone a hero, building someone up, is they feel that, you know, they can also pull them down when they want to. Like, there's this narcissistic control aspect to it, I think. And so it's the same thing. So I know I posted about that a few times probably during that whole situation. I was saying, like, I stand with healthcare workers and in this whole, you know, again,
it's kind of like
vaccine mandation.
People, I guess.
Huh?
Kind of like a puppet of the people in a way, where it's like
yeah, it's like you do what we say do type thing, or and then look at all of the issues with vaccinations and stuff like that. I did a whole video or two on what my thoughts of vaccinations.
It's weird.
But yeah. So again, I agree with you that it's very political.
Things get political like so quickly. It's like some things like it. Why
everything is politicized?
It's like there's no need for it. It's just
love,
it's very
sex,
simple.
religion, food, water, healthcare, housing.
Just
like everything becomes political.
Into the business, where it's I don't like it. I don't like this. This is gross.
But then we wonder why societies are the way they are, why all these issues, you know, why we have all these issues with citizens. Really, I mean, we could actually handle all of this 1, 2, 3 if we really wanted to.
Oh,
but we don't, because there's always going to be like this you know, statuses, the haves, the have-nots, all that kind of thing.
What is some power complex? I think is the proper term I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And also, speaking of like police stuff like that, prison systems.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen them. There was this lady that I watched TikTok. She was like speaking like a few things, but she's from like prisoner abolition. And I'm like, yeah. Because before I was like, what's the point of having a prison really? Like,
have you ever read or saw anything about the prison industrial complex?
Probably.
You should look that up.
But yeah,
actually,
there's a lot of stuff that.
Did you see
so
13 on Netflix also?
No, but
you should watch that.
My list.
Because this whole system came about post-slavery, post-emancipation.
Like the point of it was to have slaves without it being slavery.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like the entire like system of it. It's a racist system. It's built on racism and the like so there's that entire thing. But like
I learned that in Asada Shakur's book back in like when I was pregnant with Marie, so 91. I read her book and she was talking about that. And I'm like, word? But then, you know, years later I learned about the prison industrial complex and the school to prison pipeline. And one of the ways they determine, you said like why prisons, is because it's a huge $1 billion, probably $1 trillion
get people to
industry.
Make a bunch of stuff for no pay. And it's just,
you know who has money tied up in it? He's dead now, but I'm sure his family still benefits.
What? For the prison system?
Yeah. So you know Bob Barker? Well, you might not know him. You know, come on down. The Price is Right. Drew Carey hosts it now. Well, for decades, Bob Barker hosted it. I think from the beginning, probably. But soaps and stuff like that, it's his company. Yeah, prison soaps and things. Like, I forget what else. I didn't know the soap itself.
Disturbing. Because
it's a humongous business.
For just like regular people to like kind of think like what's the point of having prisons like that? Like, what is the point? If someone does something like if there's a murder or something like that, like why are you gonna lock them up? Either
instead of reform.
Yeah. So like other places?
Because they don't want reform. Well, if everybody is reformed, there's no money to be made.
Yeah, so like in other countries and stuff like that, like they have prisons and things, but it's more of a rehab to where it's like that I mentioned. She did like a thing on it. Here in the U.S., if someone were to go to like prison for like I don't know like a weed charge or something like that, and they go and they're arrested, they get locked up, they have a higher percentage of doing something like worse once they come out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not actually changing them. It's gonna make them worse because it's not to reform the person in any way. It's just you're gonna lock them up. You're gonna learn your lesson.
And they're gonna come back.
Wow,
they used to have something called the 3 strikes rule. I think they got rid of it.
Like probably gonna be raped and stuff like that. Like why? What? The system isn't gonna do anything for you. So why, when you come out, why would you be different? You're still gonna be poor and all that.
And that's what the issue is. One of the big ways that they determine how many prisons they make to build and all that kind of thing is by I think it's 4th grade reading scores, because the idea is if you're not at reading level, if you're not at the level you are by 4th grade, you're never going to catch up. So by 8th grade, right?
Why?
So
what is the idea?
Well, it's true.
Try to help the kids?
No. Like they used to have something called No Child Left Behind, but with George W. Bush was president, but it was actually very anti-children. And I don't know if you know this, but I'm actually a certified literacy tutor through Literacy Volunteers of America, and it's for.
I think that you helped people learn how to read and stuff like that. But that was like a vague thing that I think I heard mentioned.
Because you were like a baby. I think I got into it right before I got pregnant with you.
It's not very surprising.
Well, it is for adult literacy, and so what we used to do is not only teach speakers of other languages English, we also used to help American adults who were illiterate, and there are a lot of them. People who are functioning adults, like they might have good jobs and those kind of things, but they legit can't read. So, and I used to test them to see what level they were on, so we know where to start them. And I'm telling you, grown people, 20s, 30s, 50s, would not know the sounds that a letter makes. So things that you learn in preschool, they didn't know.
But
literacy is a big thing. And I remember one guy in particular, he graduated high school and did not know the sounds of letters, but he was really, really good at sports, at basketball. So they would just push him through. And so his mother, and it wasn't just him, his brother was the same way, but his mother finally sought help for him because he had his own place, but he couldn't read. So he would just get mail and it would pile up, and he'd just leave it on the table, and then after a while he'd be like, it's too junky in here, and he would just throw stuff away, and he was throwing away checks. His mom's was like, you bugging, throwing away this money, you need to learn how to read. And so I say that to say I know firsthand that this is a problem with the literacy in this country. And
aren't people America is so great,
right? We have issues, and so
take care of your own citizens,
right? And so we have all these people across racial, boundaries or whatever, who they're poor, they're illiterate, their education is non-existent basically, and so what are they going to do? They grow up in environments that are around the same type of stuff, so they grow up drinking because they're in despair. You're poor, you know what I'm saying? So what you going to do? You try to run away from your problems. You're getting drunk, you're getting high, all these kind of things. You robbing, you're raping, you're beating people up because you're so pissed off all the time, so you want to fight and all this. You get locked up. You're doing the same thing in there, probably worse. From what I understand, is worse in prison.
You come out and then
it's a cycle.
I think you're it's a 7%, higher percent when you come out, that you'll do worse crimes than you did before you went in. So it's just
And then some people, I know people, it seems that they got locked up so much, like half their lives, if they're like 40 years old, they've been locked up off and on half their lives, putting in time, right? And so they're almost uncomfortable with it, but also it's like it's part of their reality. And so when they're in there, even though it's prison, but they're in there, they've been institutionalized, and so they're okay with being told when to do this, when to do that. But they got TV, they got food, they don't have to worry about the same issues that they have to deal with the living out here. And plus, they don't really know how to function out here because they never had a real job before, so they can't keep a job. They don't know nothing about taxes. They have girlfriends, because they're like guys that I know. They have girlfriends who take care of them. They break up, they go to another chick. They break up, they go to another chick. They don't know how to do anything for themselves. So to be locked up in prison, yes, you don't have your freedom, but like I'm living, you know what I mean?
Like you're not, you're enslaved.
But you don't, if you're a slave, slaves are, there's a saying, and I'm paraphrasing, but Harriet Tubman said, like, yeah, she saved, like 100 or whatever slaves. She would have saved much more if they had known they were slaves. So some people don't realize, probably most people don't realize that they're slaves, especially when everybody around you is a slave too. Like, this is what you do.
That's just a life.
Like, you're bugging. Why you think I'm a slave? I'm living the life. You know what I mean? So you don't understand these things.
Yep. Have good talks.
Huh?
Have good talks.
Hey.
Oh God. Internet does wonders now.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the cool things is that it's like kids like my age and stuff. Like, I mean, kids always like knew stuff like this, but like now especially like the riots, there were riots, but like the protests, like that really that had like a big impact, because now there's kids like who they want to know like stuff like that, but like they're actively like doing things, or they're trying to do things, where it's like like opposing like racism and stuff. Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, that was the reason we came through here, right?
It is. Yeah. But yeah, it's nice. That might have been like one of the things of the generation where it was like it kind of pushed like a bunch of just kind of forward and being like, look, we know about this. You see it. You can't like unsee this now. It was everywhere. Not just in America. It was everywhere. So you have no excuse but to like do something about it. So kids are just knowing stuff. So it's nice. It's cool.
It takes
It's a shame that someone has to die again. Multiple people have to die again.
But that's part of the thing too. Like, I think my opinion is that what are the Chinese called? Uyghurs? How do you pronounce it?
Uyghurs.
Uyghurs.
Oh, that too. People are knowing about that too, and they're doing something. It makes me happy.
Well, one of the girls that I'm in class with, she's Syrian, like originally, but she's lived different places. But that was brought up today. She was saying how who did she compare it to? She compared it to. It was some comparison was going on. I can't even remember right now. Like like society. I think maybe Syria or something. Where a professor was saying, she used to live there, yada yada, and that
the cool lady?
Huh?
Was it the cool lady?
Yeah, she kind of cool. But she, that one. So she used to live there for some years, whatever, and she was saying, like, when she saw the devastation, blah, 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 she can't really imagine it, because even when she lived there years and years ago, it was, I forget her term, but, like, it was basic. Like, they didn't really have things going on type of stuff. Well, first of all, that always...
It was, like, average, or...
Yeah, she was saying how... when she went to buy some chicken, it still had the head on and all that kind of stuff. But
is that weird to her? You just cut the head off, and you know.
I was going to say, we all have our
You dress it.
own realities.
You dress it.
But her point was like, no, they didn't have, you know, I'm trying not to say too much because I don't want to seem disrespectful if she ever sees this video. But it's definitely a different reality that she had, like what she was seeing. She went there as an American and a white American woman on top of that. So it was like,
I guess it would probably be like
not third worldish, but it was just like, ooh. I mean, honestly, it would probably be the equivalent of one of the Amish or something. It's like,
or like how breeds like squirrels and stuff like that. Because how we have like, you know, packaged chicken and things, and it's like he catches it.
Right. Like, we're consumers. We go and buy stuff. So she was just like, oh my god.
It's understandable.
But so anyway, so then the girl was, somehow it came out about, you know, the professor was saying, yeah, but like, what about this? And then what about the Jews? And then what about what happened with the Japanese internment camps and everything? As in, her point was sort of like, you know, we know about all these people, but what about people like the, you know, Uyghurs and everything? Like, there is nothing much being said about them.
Yeah,
you know, I thought
like,
about you.
Yeah.
And, what I was saying to her,
it's been happening for
which
years.
brings me back to what you were saying that I want all the way around the world to get to, is that a lot of things young people, in my opinion, young people are aware of, but so much is driven by social media that when it's big on social media, it's big in the minds of the people. But when it's not big on, when it dies down, which is very often because, I mean, our attention spans are that fast, then you don't really talk about it anymore. It's like, oh, it's not gonna, you know, like the Say Her Name campaigns and all this kind of thing. You know, all you need is like a dope hashtag and everybody jump on it. But then it's like, okay, let's go back to our iPads or iPhones.
Palestine. So you remember how how it was like
everybody's like, oh my god, look what's happening.
So much was being said. It was like people were doing the hashtag.
I don't even think
all
it was that long.
It might have like a month or so, like maybe a couple months.
You would see everywhere, and then it was like, you would think like, oh, it's been resolved. It's not been resolved.
It hasn't been for almost 100 years. So it's just like 20 years from now, it's gonna be like 100 years. It's been happening, but it's just died down because hashtags aren't getting as many likes.
Right. You know? It's again pop culture. Even activism has this like big pop culture aspect to it, I think.
It looks like the internet, it does wonders, but it's still there's pros and cons.
It gives information out there,
but then
it's up to the people to keep it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Which saying that I have to make patches, I have to make patches on my clothes so that I can just have it on me. Because I forget about stuff, and it's just like, oh, you know, stuff is.
I mean, there's so much going on,
and there's too much to have like going in your head like all at once, and then to not get sad about it all the time.
And so then it's like a lot of times it seems to me, again, my opinion, is that things that become popularized isn't really stuff that you can get hurt over. It's like, I'm gonna speak up and do my part, but
and just saying it.
But I'm not going to jail. I'm not getting buzzed in my head. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. And it's all revolutionary, you know, actions or whatever. However,
wonderful. It's great. You saying it, but you have to go out and actually actively do something about it. Like, go out, put signs up, you know, do something, put some buildings and stuff where, you know, people can see it all the time. Like, you have to do more, because you can't just, you know, you can't just like let it die down. You have to, you know, be the face if there's no face there. So you just, I don't know. It's a weird world. It's crazy. Yes.
It is, and I mean, like, no one person can change it all. It takes everybody actively, working to make change, and it can be overwhelming. It's just so much to me. That's why I'm really excited about getting involved with this, with a club at school, with this organization I'm trying to get involved in. And because
That might
you
be why
can't do it all
I'm so
yourself.
tired.
Hmm?
I think that might be why I'm so tired.
What?
There's so much
Worrying
going
about
on.
stuff. I know.
Yeah. Like Yemen, like a few weeks ago, the other bombing, a bunch of people died.
It's a lot. It's just so much.
A thing that I donated to, a report that there were like a few kids that died. It's just disturbing.
The Breadbasket Project. What's it called?
No, it was the thing that I got from the mail today, Save the Children. Then they reported that a few kids that they were taking care of died in the bombing. So yeah, and America, Saudi, and I don't, because it's like they're doing it. So there was like a few people said some stuff, but it wasn't like trending or anything like that. So yeah. All this stuff.
That's the thing. Like you said, it's like this. I don't know if you call it positive versus negative or whatever thing with the internet, where it's like it's really good because things trend and you get information about it, but it's not so good is things trend then they're no longer trendy in 2 or 3 days, and then it's like
an hour or so goes
it's
by.
like when everybody, you know how it's sports arenas, everybody be like yeah, and everybody jump up to the way, then they sit down and quiet again. It's like
there's something else and it happens all over again.
Yeah. I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Well, this is why I dress like this. This is why you're
ready to kick somebody.
See, I wanted to
get
steel toe boots, but it wasn't because of that. It was more so because of protection. Well, it was a few reasons. It was I think maybe like last April. It was like rape day.
Dang, I'm hungry.
Which was very, very disturbing. I think I was probably like a little bit scared because you and I would have worked that day. And I was home alone, so I was like, what if someone would try something while they're out?
That's why you gotta go to the shooting range.
Yeah, but the thing is that also with like the whole rape day thing, it wasn't just in America. It started. It started in the UK on Facebook, I think, and there was like this is a big. It was men. It was a big number of like a big in between. It was either 900 or 9,000 men that were like, we're gonna go out, we're gonna rape girls. Like that was the thing. And then also a few years ago, it was on like Attack.
We need to come up with the same day. We need to come up with Shoot Rapist Day.
Like I don't know. But like it was like 2018. It was like April 13th or something like that. I still remember this. It was,
what was it?
Attack on Muslim Day.
I remember
where it
that.
was like you got a certain number of points and stuff like that. It was like take like they were acid in a Muslim's face, like take off on the Muslims like Kimar. Like what like
that's because they have this idea that they won't get cut.
Yeah, but that's
people mess with you're never gonna see them have a punch a black man in the face day. They're afraid of black men. Like they may attack, when it's 4 or 5 cops or something like that, but they're not trying to step to black men. They're trying to step to people that they believe are weaker than they are because they're a bunch of punk,
and that's
cowardly,
why I wanted to have a bunch of rings on my hands,
bullies,
and steel-toe boots. So if I needed to, I could punch them.
No, you need to have knives and everything with you.
Yeah. And then I'm also.
But that's what they do because they believe like, oh, women are not going to fight back, or Muslim women are not going to fight back. When they say Attack a Muslim Day, they're talking about Muslim women. They're talking about people who they believe look Muslim. So,
like what?
But first of all, they don't know. These, first of all, Pakistani and African Muslims I know, they'll beat the crap out of you, first of all. Secondly, you're talking about messing with people who've been born and raised in this country. They may be Pakistani, they're Pakistani American. They will bust that ass. So they only mess with people because they have this idea that these people are weak. They're not going to fight back. We can do this and do that because they're bullies. or they have a gun where they won't come to you like hand-to-hand combat. They're going to try to do something to you from afar because they're punks. But they don't know what they're dealing with.
Yeah. Which I think
and they definitely don't have black Muslims on the mind.
Oh.
Because you're talking about black people and Muslim, two of the biggest fears they have. That's not what they have in mind.
Which is
so.
Why are they so scared of Muslims? Like where did the fear come from?
It's
like,
a fear of something
like,
that is not them.
Foreign?
It's xenophobia. Fear something that is not like you.
Which is like.
So that's why they're afraid of gay men.
We trying to be so peaceful. Like, well, you're supposed to be.
Yeah, it's like, leave me alone.
Like,
I'm not even thinking about you.
Like,
nobody cares that you pray to Jesus. Do you, boo? You know? Do what you do. Just stop sweating me because I don't do the same. They're so annoying. People who are like that.
Well, so like slight, like slight fears and stuff. Cause I talked about that before, like with the boost. Was because, well, as you obviously know, I've started like when we're like on the cob and stuff like that, and I want to like do more things. Like I don't like wear like burger or anything like that, but like, you know, like wear like kebab and stuff like that with like my combat boots and like you know battle jackets and stuff. But like I want to like dress like, you know, comfortably. But
you want to dress how you want to dress,
yeah,
and you should be able to.
But then it's still like the fear of like, what if some white dude comes and he's like, oh, why are you wearing that? Just to, like, you know, take it off. It's like
I remember
it's so uncomfortable. You can't like move around.
Yeah, now
like,
you could wear a micro mini skirt with your pubes are
not even
just
like,
about showing, or your tits and stuff out. That would be okay. That's because that's what dudes want to see.
Yeah.
But like when I say it's okay, I'm saying it's accepted in society.
Yeah.
Dudes gonna be jerks and you're gonna have to cut them too. But it's acceptable in society. But if you want to cover your hair or your face before, you know, pre-COVID, your face or whatever, then there's a problem. Like if you're a Muslim woman who wants to wear a purdah or wear all black every day, you're a weirdo or you're a terrorist or something. But if you want to dress goth and wear black every day and black nail polish or something, oh, you're just doing them.
And it's like it.
And both should be okay. Like, what's the problem? Mind your business. Do what you want to do. If you want to dress bland and everything, do your thing. But stop sweating me. That's where the problem comes in. People, in my opinion, again, the masses are very narcissistic. They want to control other people and their ways of being when they don't even have a grip on their own damn lives.
Just stuff.
Look at that. I would love to have a pond.
We try that in the back.
I know it's a little tiny one though. Part of the problem with our backyard is it's so unlevel. That area itself is very unlevel. I saw something, wasn't it an architecture class, about where we live, the region we live in, the type of soil. I was, well, ain't soil, but how it is.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that is for true. I know firsthand.
You've had your hands in that dirt.
Oh God, it's just very, very unlevel. It's very like rocks and stuff like that. Yeah, that's why I always have to go and buy soil, because you can't go down but so far. Very difficult.
You're gonna have to do that when I start farming and stuff like that. You're gonna have to do that when I start farming and stuff.
Yeah, definitely before you buy a farm, you want to check all that good stuff.
Or just land.
It's gonna be hard to get land up here.
I don't know if I want to stay here in America.
Because I want America.
Yeah. I can't do it. Oh. So
anyway, I guess we could finish up talking off camera.
It's been an hour.
I know.
Oh wow. It's been an hour. Yeah.
Okay, let's say bye to the people.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye if you stuck around this long.
I don't know if anyone will.
I know, it's really long.
It was
We probably fast forwarded through, if anything.
It was all over the place.
This is how we talk and vibe and be when we have mommy daughter time.
So just all my conversations were like this. You know, if I ever get like friends somewhere, which hopefully I will, I just have to, be outside. I hope that like I can set up like conversations like this, and, like them like not be weirded out and be like, why are you all over the place? It's like this is just how our conversations are.
I know, this is just like our family norm.
Yeah. I have like conversations like this with Maureen all the time, but like 2-hour conversations.
For hours.
Like, look, I have to call you back, and he calls me back like 2 minutes later, and we're on the phone for like another hour.
That's so cool though, to have that sort of relationship with your brother, who is like what, 8 years older than you or something. How old is he? No, that's Malawade. He said, yeah, he's 13 years older than you.
I think Bilal's
That's
8
pretty
years older
cool.
than me, right?
I think no, Murid is, I don't know.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he might be.
Like 13 years older than me.
Yeah, Murid is 18 years older than Munawar. Okay, so we're gonna stop this video. Say bye.
Bye.